Alright, so I'm back, and in case anybody's wondering what the noise in the background is the dog has a bone. I keep saying that, but people keep asking me, what are all the noises in the background? Well, I have a dog. I'm not home that much, so when I'm home, he's with me. So when I'm doing videos and he decides to chew on a bone in the background, that's just something I have to deal with. So, anyway, I'm back, and we're going to do the viewer responses for the rant of the week last week, which was the where I was requested to rank all the Transformer movies. So this one was not nearly as popular as the Optobotanist rant, thank God. Because I don't know if I can deal with another one like that. Alright, Jeff Perrin ranks number 8, Revenge of the Fallen movie. Okay. 7, Transformers 2007. Okay. 6, Transformers animated Transformer Rollout pilot episode. I didn't realize that was a movie. Is that kind of like how Prime had the first 5 episodes and then it was kind of turned into a movie? 5, Age of Extinction. 4, Beast Wars 2, Leo Convey's Close Call, 1998. So I didn't know they had a movie like that. 3, Dark of the Moon. 2, Transformers Prime Darkness Rising 5-part story arc. Number 1, Transformers 1986. Know just about everyone has seen the X-Men cartoon series. So you will know the intro. But now look at the Japanese intro. That is the feeling you get going from G1 cartoons to G1 movie. Why do I dislike the live action movies so much? Their bodies always seem naked. Seeing all the gears and pistons just doesn't look right. From what I thought in their G1, their outer shell was like living skin, kind of like a T-1000. Galvatron's reformatting to me shows that. I haven't bought TF4 either. Just downloaded it. Maybe if it hits the $5 bin. I did the Star Trek swap once too. Think I'll watch that right after I watch Walking Dead. The funny thing about that is I went to Black Friday at my Walmart, which... Okay, there's maybe 100 people in the store and 30 of which work there, so it was not that busy. And everybody was being really polite and nice and helping other people get stuff into their carts. So it was like, this is not the war zone that I expected. But I went to the movie bin and there was Age of Extinction in the... it was either $2 or $4, and I definitely have the money to buy it at that price, but I didn't. I still didn't. I bought like X-Men and Godzilla and Dread and Wolverine, the Wolverine movie. So I got those instead. But it's like I still couldn't just bring myself. I should probably do that. I should force myself to buy that movie. And part of me did enjoy the aesthetics of the Bay movies, to be perfectly honest. I think the one show that I hated the most when it comes to aesthetics was, that I actually watched, was Transformers Animated. I hated that. But it kind of grew on me the longer I watched it. But yeah, that was, to me, that was the worst aesthetics out there. And then the toys were pretty bad too, because of the fact that they looked like the show. They were great because they looked so close to the show, but I didn't like the way the show looked, so that made me not like it at all. So But yeah, the movies, as far as I'm concerned, I thought the movies, the characters looked cool at times, um, but I didn't. It was the plot of Age of Extinction, you know, the overall execution of the movie. The transformations were cool in the first three movies, but Galvatron's transformation in the fourth one was just like, that's not transforming. That's parts forming. I mean, literally every single part of him flew off and flew in midair and then reformed, and it just was like, it makes no sense. All right, moving on. Seeing Funny John, Age of Extinction. So did a video on that. I would have to ask, why the scrapped Rat Trap have to download his transformation? That was total crap and only gets wheels. Oh, I think what you're talking about is Beast Machines. Um, he didn't have to download his transformation. The concept of that show at the beginning was the fact that they were in Beast Machines. They were all they had to kind of like tame the beast part of them, because when they got reformatted, they were more beasts than they were robots. So they had to tame the beast part of them so that they were able to transform. Um, Rat Trap was having a hard time dealing with it, so he created a hack, and the hack didn't work out very well for him. So he ended up it ended up causing a lot of trouble. So, and yeah, that was stupid. That was the stupid plot point of Beast Machines, that they had to tame themselves to learn how to transform again. That was stupid. Um, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say that was genius, but that was pretty stupid. And then so was the Rat Trap um, robot mode. Just, I mean, that was. I mean, he had wheels for legs. That was just kind of ridiculous. When I'm seeing Funny John also says, "Okay, I can clear it up for you on Predacon Risings. If and I think the new series is canon, it turns out Optimus was sent into another dimension, a spirit dimension, where he was being trained to fight Megatronus, aka the Fallen. He did appear to Bumblebee a few times and even aided him in the first episode. The season finale, he got to return, and with the others, they took down Megatronus. Optimus is merely a teammate now, and Bumblebee remains leader. Season 2 coming soon." Okay, so I didn't know any of that, but they say RAD is what he's talking about, the new RAD show, not to be confused with the old RAD show. But it makes no sense still, because first off, why would they call him Megatronus if he's the Fallen? Because in Prime they speak real briefly of the Fallen, not Megatronus. So, and I believe Megatron was calling himself Megatronus before he was called Megatron. Don't quote me on that one, but I know they were talking about the Fallen earlier in Prime, because they're saying already it's supposed to be a sequel to Prime, but certain things don't make sense. Like, why are all the Decepticons now beasts in robot mode? They weren't in the show. In Prime, they weren't. So why would they be now? So that makes no sense. Bumblebee might be voiced the same, but he's completely different. And, he went from being somewhat of a leader to the Autobots to then being just a regular cop for the Autobots, and now he's a leader of a team. Because I watched the first few episodes, and I fucking hated it. So yeah, there was Fallen was mentioned, not Megatronus, and I'm pretty sure Megatron was named Megatronus before he actually took over the Decepticons. And at the end of the Beast Hunters movie, Optimus flew into the Allspark or whatever it was, the Well of Sparks, and gave his life so that he could re-energize it because he had the Allspark inside of him. Because he had to transfer that to him so he can use the empty shell that it was in to capture Unicron. So, not parallel universe. He's in the core of the planet. So anyway, I don't get it. Alright, moving on. Victor Zane Van Huss. My least favorite to favorite is 6 Predacon Risings. They should have left it at season 3. See, I agree. It is very clear from the early part of season 3 that they were planning a bigger season, but they didn't have time to do it, so they wrapped it up, and I thought it was a good ending to the series. The movie just wasn't. Sad thing is I actually own that one and not Age of Extinction. 5, Dark of the Moon. Though I love the action, I just had a grudge against Sentinel for killing Ironhide. Oh, spoiler alert for those that haven't seen it. And the whole job plot with Sam was boring for me to enjoy. I agree. The job plot was boring, and that's what makes the second half, for me, that's what made the second half of the movie so enjoyable, because you have all these people going about their lives, living their lives, showing them, mundane tasks and stuff like that, and how it's so unentertaining to be regular human. And then you move into this war where everyone is dying horrible, horrible deaths at the hands of the Decepticons. So it showcases like how quickly and devastating the world would be if the Decepticons choose to make it that bad for us. Let's see here. 4, Revenge of the Fallen. Good popcorn flick, like you said. But I thought this was the rise of human annoyance, like Sam and the dude that was Sam's roommate. Oh, God, he was annoying. I hated him, too. 3, Age of Extinction. I thought the final battle was awesome, and I liked Crosshair's Hound and Lockdown. Plus, I like Cade. See, I didn't like Lockdown because he was never Decepticon leader. So I don't know why he was basically the main bad guy. He was never that entertaining to me. He was a cool side character. I like him feuding with people like Ratchet and stuff like that in animated. That works for me. Feuding with Optimus, not so much. Being able to fight Optimus to a standstill, not so much. And there's so many other great Decepticons out there. I mean, you could replace Lockdown with Bludgeon, and I would have been okay with it. I would have been more okay with that than Lockdown, because Bludgeon was a Decepticon leader at one point. Something like that would make sense. Let's see here. Crosshairs, he was the one with the parachute, right? Because they didn't really give him any screen time like they do all the other Transformers. Hound was Bulkhead. I remember that, yeah. He definitely did not have a Hound persona. He definitely had a Bulkhead persona, and I wish they would have just called it Bulkhead, and I would have been fine with that. Cade, was that the human? I don't know. Anyway, I only watched the movie once. I tried to watch it again, but I couldn't. 2, G1. Oh, G1. Uh-oh. I thought it was overall a good story and fitting into 2G1, even though there would be unanswered questions. The viewer should have been able to put the pieces together. But like you said, it's all about toys. But it wasn't the end of G1, because there was another season after that. Where Galvatron and Hot Rod, you might want to consider that to be the end of the series. And number 1, TF, the 2007 movie. I thought it had a good story, good Autobots, and I like a few cons. Sam wasn't as annoying in this one, and it was overall an enjoyable movie. Yeah, I agree. It was. I mean, obviously, that's not where I list my movies, but um, yeah, I can see that. Um, Definitely, some people like something more than others. So, anyway. Revenge of the Fallen. Thank FX for the reason why I dread that. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. That was seeing funny again. Matthias Morkabis. Uh, it's amazing our symmetry for Galvatron and Rodimus Prime. Yes, I love them. They are awesome. As you can see, Rodimus. I don't have a Galvatron yet for MP. I think we lost some guys. Transformers 758. To me, I think it's nearly offensive to the other movies to have Beast Machines so high. It was just garbage. But to me, so is Beast Wars. I just hate Cheetor. So yeah, I'm not gonna argue that you're wrong. But opinions. And I honestly don't think there's any way you can offend Age of Extinction. It does enough offensive material as it is, because the movie is just absolute garbage in my mind. If I had to choose, I wouldn't even put Age of Extinction on the list, because it's barely a film in my mind. Oh man, that thing is just garbage. I don't think the G1 movie was that good. I haven't seen Age of Extinction, and it doesn't really bother me. When I saw the trailer, I just thought the robots looked fake, and to me, that was a big thing in the movies. It's what made the action good, and I remember when everyone was laughing at the gun face thing. Then turns out they really did it, and that was the last straw. So you don't like Beast Wars, you don't like Beast Machines, you don't like G1 movie, and you don't like Age of Extinction. Okay, moving on. TFY, you Smokey 102. Can you make a rant of the week about the concept of rip-off reviewers, like people attempting to copy review styles and thumbnail styles? Honestly, probably not, because that's going to take me a long time to put together. But there is another reviewer out there that he used to. I can't remember who he was. He's just a small time guy like me, but he uses the exact same backgrounds as I have, and he used the same exact intro that I used to use, and then he stopped using that intro shortly after I stopped using my intro. So I have copycat out there somewhere. I'll have to find him and talk to him about that. But I think everyone does it at one point or another. They're just trying new things. I think it's Bolt Matrix that started using the little text speak at the bottom, kind of copying Vangelis, and I know somebody was using a puppet instead of mascot, like Imgo. But yeah, there's a lot of them out there, but you know what it is. You know how it goes. Imitation's the highest form of flattery. I mean, I used to use just straight white background, because that's what like Piog would use, and I was like, you know what, that looks good. I'm gonna try that. Now I've got my own setup, and I think I was the first one to really start using this as my the review background, and now there's a lot of people doing it. Are they copying me? Probably not. They probably just had the same thought as I did. Maybe they are, but who knows? I don't know about thumbnail style because I usually don't look at the thumbnails. I just kind of move on. So anyway, and as far as my thumbnail goes, it's whatever YouTube decides to put as my thumbnail. I don't I don't really care. I don't sit there and be like, oh, this needs to be this picture here. It's just whatever posts up. And sometimes it ends up being hilarious. Like the one where I think it was part one of the interview with Optibomus where I have the Hail Hasbro cup. That was completely random image that YouTube selected to be the thumbnail. So that was perfect. And then, yeah. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think that's gonna be a good rant of the week for me because that takes a lot. That would take a lot of research and stuff like that. Maybe if I take some vacation time from my job and just sit around and dick around on the computer for a while, I can do it. But as of right now, I'm just too busy for stuff like that. Kobuxit. Really, the only true answer is the G1 movie, as that movie doesn't want me to drive nails through my forehead. As for the others, really hate all of the live-action films for in descending order. First one I hate the least. Okay, so as the movies progressed, he hated them more. Haven't seen the Prime Beast Hunters film, so I don't recommend it. Haven't seen the Prime Beast, was too young to really get a feel for Beast Machines when I saw their first run. You have to watch Beast Wars before you watch Beast Machines. That's almost a requirement. You don't know the characters, you don't know the background. It doesn't hit as hard with certain characters becoming other characters. You know what I'm talking about if you watch both of those shows. Some of it was like shocking when you first watch it. It was like, wait, what? Kind of thing. So yeah. Yeah, you have to watch that. You have to be invested, and you have to be open-minded to the Beast era. I'm not saying that it's the be-all, end-all of all Transformers, because everyone has their own opinion on what the greatest series and greatest shows are. A lot of people say G1's the best. I think G1 was one of the best. I think Beast Wars had a better story arc. So, in certain ways, I do think Beast Wars was better than G1. Am I saying that is the fact of life and everyone needs to agree with me? No. I mean, most likely I'm wrong. But yeah, my point is that if you didn't like it then, you might not like it now. I always say give it a shot and see if you like it. I've given every single Transformers show a shot. That was in U.S. anyway. I can't do the Headmasters because I'm not very good with the subtitles. The Japanese G1. I'm not very good with subtitles, so I'm just not going to do it. But I've watched... Oh, and Rescue Bots. I haven't tried that one. But I watched all the G1 episodes. I watched all the Beast Wars, Beast Machines. I gave the original RID show a shot. Couldn't do it. I thought the... Scourge in that show was pretty awesome, but that was the end of it. The rest of it was just that really bad anime that was going around at the time, like the Pokemon, Digimon, stuff like that, where it's like, I understand it has its place for children, but for me, I could not do it. With the big beads of sweat coming off of Transformers, I was like, no. Cyber Shark or Skybite or whatever, I couldn't watch it. I watched all of Armada. Regret that. Haven't watched Energon. Haven't watched Cybertron. Eventually I will. Watched all of Animated. I thought that show was garbage at first, but as it progressed, the series got a little more darker and had scenes of that were directed towards adult, like when Optimus is infiltrating a ship and he turns on this little lighter. He's like, "Oh, sure, come out to space, have a good time, you laugh." And it was like, okay, that's Die Hard. He's quoting Die Hard. Kids don't watch Die Hard. That's strictly for parents. Anyway, animated I thought was good. But anyway, I always say give the shows a shot. I'm wasting too much time here. TFY, Smokey 102. I disagree with one aspect of the G1 movie. I think all the Autobots that died, with the exception of Optimus Prime and Brawn, shouldn't have been killed. I think they just should have killed characters no one cared about, like Grapple, Mirage, Blue Streak, Skids, and others like them. Maybe kill Prowl, but overall I think at least Ironhide should have lived. See, I have to disagree with you because one, those toys were getting off the shelf, so that's why they killed them off. They were pulling the toys from the shelves and getting new toys on the shelf. That's why they killed them off. So it was great marketing for the new toys coming out. But also, some of the characters that replaced the characters that died were for the better. Some of them were for the worse, like Blur. And don't get me wrong, Blur was awesome in the movie, but in the show he was just annoying. And Wheelie was absolutely garbage. Getting Grimlock more on a regular basis as an idiot was bad, but we also did get Ultra Magnus, Springer, and Cup, all of which were good characters to have throughout the series. So I thought it was a good replacement, and sometimes you just got to move on, from older characters, and Transformers just happen to do it really a lot quicker than other shows. But I mean, look at X-Men, for example. If you actually follow the comics, I used to, but the characters in the X-Men, they would either die or they would move on, and they just had kind of a revolving cast. And that's kind of how I see Transformers, is they have to get new cast members in there. To freshen it up, because if you have the same people, day in and day out in every single adventure, it's going to get really boring really quickly. That's why the Fantastic Four suck at everything, and you would never have a good movie because they've only had really one good story arc, and it's been replayed 1,000 times. That's why even Beast Wars got it right, because they're like, okay, we got to rotate the cast a little bit, so they freshened it up. They would upgrade them and stuff like that. Prime was a little bit stagnant near the end because things weren't changing as much as they should have been. On the Autobot side, the Decepticons sides were constantly changing. But also when they would go out on missions, it wasn't the same group of people going on the same missions. They would kind of rotate them. RC would go with Bumblebee, then Smokescreen would go with Bumblebee, and then Wheeljack would go with Bumblebee. Different characters were going on different missions. Bulkhead would go on his own mission against the Insecticons, which was an awesome episode, by the way, where it was just him solo against a bunch of Insecticons at the lava pits. That was a great episode. But that's why it worked, just because it wasn't the same formula like Fantastic Four, and G1 was kind of getting into that niche where it was just like the same bots were doing the same thing over and over and over again. Near the end of season 2, it's like every episode was the aerial bots going into battle. It seemed like. Anyway, moving on. I'm gonna go ahead and say Chris, Krys, Chris K. So your favorite con is Galaby, and your favorite bot is Rodimus. My favorite Autobot is Diatlas from Zone, late Japanese G1. Wasn't he in? Was he in G1 in one episode, or was that somebody else? I don't know. And my favorite Decepticon is Six Shot. Got him at the 6, really 7, because Wayne Wolf is freaking awesome and he killed Ultra Magnus and Headmasters. So, also Cinema Sins is awesome. Yes, they are. I see. I don't know enough about Atlas to have an opinion on him. Six Shot, what I know of him is badass. So, I wish he was in G1 more than the 10-second toy commercial where he was showing off all his different modes. Basically, that's what it was. Alright. Skittles with Feathers. I tried to watch Age of Extinction on Netflix, and it was so bad I stopped halfway through. I didn't grow up with the original movie, but I will say it's my favorite. It's just shame it led to the weakest season of the original cartoon. See, I'm only going to disagree with you on the weakest season part because there was season 4, which was only, 3 episodes long. That's the weakest. That was the absolute weakest one. But yeah, outside of that, yeah, I agree. It did lead to a very weak season. And it makes no sense why. Let's see here. Second favorite is the first live action movie. Third is Dark of the Moon. I really hate Revenge of the Fallen, Age of Extinction, and the Predacons Rising equally. All terrible in their own ways. Yes, they are. I'm not going to argue. I mean, I like Revenge of the Fallen because it's a good popcorn movie, like I said. Lots of good action, and it's got that awesome Star Trek trailer at the beginning. So, let's see. Walking Deadpool 78 says you should do a top tune list. Okay, I will one of these days. That I could do. Prime Decadent Reviews? Decadent? I agree with you that Galvatron is awesome. But I can't agree with you on Rodimus Prime. He helped kill Optimus, my hero, as a child. LOL. I disagree. I don't think he helped kill Optimus. He was trying to help. Megatron already had the gun. He was going to try and do a cheap shot on Optimus. As it was, Optimus didn't know he had the gun. So perhaps if Rodimus hadn't gone up, Megatron would have been the faster draw on Optimus. Who knows? Either way, Optimus was lingering too long. He should have executed Megatron right away after all the Autobots he just killed. He was getting ready to execute him, but he really should have just walked up to him and pulled the trigger and just been done with it. I was one of those devastated kids that couldn't watch season 3 without him. Anyways, excluding Beast Machines, LOL, my top 6 from worst to best are Age of Extinction, Transformers Prime Predacon, Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon, Transformers movie, Transformers the animated movie. Transformers Age of Extinction sucked. It didn't feel like an Autobot versus Decepticon war was going to me, and that's what Transformers is about in my opinion. Anyway, thanks for your honest thoughts and opinions, John. And what is your opinion on Fans Toys Not Galvatron coming out in 2016? Well, we've got 10 months to go before that figure even gets close to coming out. So I'll probably buy it, but I'm probably going to get that DX9 Galvatron that's coming out any day now. And I know a lot of people are going to get the X-Transbots Galvatron that's coming out any day now. So, yeah, I think Fans Toys is doing it strictly to, announcing it that far out. Just strictly to be like, hey, we're releasing a figure. Don't buy their stuff because we're releasing ours. And it's just kind of like, it's so far out that it's irrelevant. Yeah, We'll see. We'll see what happens. Walking Deadpool says, awesome video, brother. I agree with G1, the best TF movie ever. Yes, it is. Mander Meh says, I fell asleep watching Dark of the Moon in theaters. I eventually bought it on Blu-ray for $5 and fell asleep again. I finally got through it on the third try. I'd have to admit I enjoyed most of everything except freaking Shia LaBeouf. Obviously, just being there for a paycheck. Yep, yeah, I agree to that. Revenge of the Fallen is entertaining as long as you turn off all thought processes to your brain, so your brain doesn't yell out all the plot holes that Optus could drive through. Yep. Oh man, if I could do a rant on plot holes in those live action movies. Ugh. Revenge of the Fallen Leader Class Optimus Prime is still one of my favorite figures, and Dark of the Moon Leader Class Sentinel Prime was given to me as a Christmas present, and at first his transformation gave me fits, but I still enjoy the complexities of the transformation of the figures. My list. 1. Transformers movies 86. 2. Revenge of the Fallen. 3. Transformers 2007. 4. Dark of the Moon. 5. Age of Craptation. Night Wingdom 1 says 10 through 1. I'm not making this up. 10 through 1 is 1986 movie. See, I can't argue with that. It was a great movie. It really was, in my opinion, the best Transformer movie out there. Because it was just so good. But anyway, I've spent enough time on this. I've got other things to do before I have to get to work. So, I have another rant coming up tomorrow. So I'll see you guys then.